have a clip here of one of Tina's creations. This one is called Gayatri Mantra. So here it is.
Tatsavitu Varenya Bargo Devasya Dimahi Dio Yona Prachodaya.
So, Tina, what was the inspiration for this?
For the Gayatri Mantra?
Yeah.
Well, at that time that I was creating that album, Jaya Bhagavan, I was traveling around the world a lot and hanging out with a bunch of people, in particular, who had been living and studying in India for many years. And, you know, as I mentioned before, I'd kind of live on the fringe a little bit. Well, these are people who really live on the fringe, and people who spend a lot of their time just, you know, on the earth and singing, chanting devotional music. And I was just so inspired by that and the space that was created. In particular, not necessarily over here in the States so much, but the places I was in South America and at the time, and I don't know, there was just such an incredible field that was created when this group of people started singing bhajans, and I had never experienced anything like that over here in the West, or over here in the States, rather. And I just felt like I wanted to just try to capture a little piece of that and put it into some music and pass it on to some of the people over here that I knew would never get to go and, you know, live by the river and experience what I'd experienced. So that was why I chose to make Jaya Bhagavan. I wanted to put some of those songs into recording and let people hear some of those beautiful mantras that I had learned. And of course, I did it my own way, with my own sound and my own instrumentation with it. But that was kind of my my way of giving those songs to people.
And what a beautiful, beautiful way you did it too.
Thank you.
That particular album I listened to over and over again, and every time goosebumps the whole way through. So with regards to your creativity and songwriting, what generally comes first for you? An idea, a theme? Is it the lyrics, the music? You did mention that with The Silent Awakening, the whole song came to you, it seems. Is there a particular process?
I'd say in general it starts with a mood. It kind of starts with just this feeling that I'm feeling, and whether it's happy or joyful or hopeful or sorrowful or angry or whatever it is, it'll kind of start from there, and it's usually just this bubbling over of emotion or feeling that I have to just go express somehow. And from there, usually the music comes first. I'll either, if I'm on piano or guitar, I'll just kind of start with some chords, and if I feel like it's kind of capturing the emotion that I'm having in that moment, then I kind of just go with that, and then usually the lyrics kind of follow, or the lyrics usually kind of fall into place is what happens. I'll kind of start like mumbling something, and then could only say it's like, not that I've done this really, but like carving, would be, it's like it just starts to carve itself, and there's kind of the rough edges, and then really my practice and the biggest challenge in it for me is not trying to create something, and really just letting it be created, because it's easy to kind of bring the mind in and be like, okay, well, this should sound like this and that should sound like that, and really my best creations are just when I kind of get out of the way and let the music sort of tell me what it wants.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Just as with the artists, get out of the way. Do you find that the mind chatter is sort of what gets in the way?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's my biggest challenge on planet Earth, honestly, in this moment.
Mine as well. Mind chatter.
Not only mind chatter, but for me, it's particularly with creativity. Because that's kind of the whole point of it. Is it comes from a place, at least for me, that is not logical. Mm-hmm. And my logical mind sometimes it tries to decipher it before it's even come out. Yeah. So that's my big meditation is just to allow myself to have the time and space to let myself be heard by myself first of all before anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, who or what has been your biggest inspiration in life and musically?
Hands down, my mother. Hands down, my mother. My mother's no longer with us. She passed away when I was 18. But of what I got to know of her and experience of her, she was just such an incredible woman. I feel so blessed to be raised by her. Not only was she really the most incredible musician I ever got to witness, singer and pianist, but she just had this undying dedication to the beauty and the perfection of music and whatever she was doing. And she really passed that on to me, the importance of quality, in everything that you do, but really with music also. So I've tried to, kind of pass that along in what I'm doing. It's kind of built into me. It's hard for me It's hard for me not to do that. If anything, I probably could use to be a little more raw in a sense, but my mother was just so refined, and that's how she heard and created music, and so I've kind of followed in her footsteps that way.
Did she actually teach you the piano?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. That's pretty neat. That must have been really just something very special to have that shared with you. And I'm always really into the divine feminine practices, and with our mothers being our initial contact with the divine feminine, to have that instilled and downloaded through actual direct lessons and this download from your mom. How wonderful. Mm-hmm. That is really just beautiful. And I can see, I can see how that would really strengthen your gifts and really give you the ability to emote all that, the feminine being light. Tell us a little bit about your practices to stay balanced, particularly with creativity.
I find it very important just to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds a little cliche, but I just find that if I'm feeling unhealthy in my body, I can't really do anything anyway. Mm-hmm. And so I have kind of finally figured that out. So my practices, I've gone in and out of different practices in my lifetime as far as, actual meditation practices and chanting practices and stuff like that. And really what has come to me at this point in my life, is the most important things for me are to eat really well, to stay very balanced in that way as far as what I put in my body, and also where I am. I'm a much happier, easier person when I'm in nature. It's just the reality. I can get very stressed out in the city. I still love the city, but I'm just, as far as just knowing yourself and what really works well for you, I know that I have to stay active. I love to run and just walk or whatever it is that just keeps my energy moving constantly. So those are the practices that I really try to focus on. In general, just be a healthy, happy human being. But that's where it all starts. Because if I'm not healthy in my body, then I can't really, like I said, I can't really focus on anything anyway. As far as my creative life, I have to make time for it. I can't expect it just to come to me because it doesn't necessarily. Life has a way of just carrying you away, and all the things you have to do, and bills and friends and responsibilities, and I have to make a conscious effort to. I just finished reading Tori Amos's biography a few months ago, and one of the things she says is that without fail, no matter where she is, she forces herself to practice the piano and to write 3 hours a day.
Wow.
Even
that
if she's on tour.
discipline.
I know. And she talks a lot about that and the importance of, keeping your wheels greased, so to speak. And
Cool.
so I try to, not always successfully, but I try to at least dip into that as much as I can just to kind of keep myself
Thank
going.
you.